Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Warfare. And this is from co-writers and co-directors Alex Garland of Civil War fame, Ex Machina, Annihilation, and Men, and Iraq War veteran Ray Mendoza, who has been on so many films as an advisor, and now takes the reins of telling a story he was a part of. And this film focuses on a group of soldiers who are in Ramadi, Iraq, and are caught under fire, under siege by Al-Qaeda, and are going through hell. And this film, I have to say, is one of the most visceral, stressful, uncomfortable cinematic experiences that I feel like I have ever had. This 96-minute film, which I got to see in IMAX, the sound design is so incredible because you hear the comms, you hear the planes in the background, the shooting, all of the explosions, and it's all this chaotic mix. And there's so many creative moments where we get inside the head of these soldiers and the sound cuts out. The ringing starts. And you feel like you're in this with them. This soundscape is one of the most engrossing and authentic I think I've ever heard in a film. This film, just from a technical standpoint, from a craftsman's standpoint, is just impeccable from top to bottom. The cinematography is so crisp and precise, and every shot feels like it has a very specific reason for being how it is, and they're able to really capture that in this film. And David J. Thompson, who's a cinematographer, just shoots the hell out of this movie. There's no score. This is very much like you're in it. And there's very minimal music. Like, there's this opening scene that really gives you an idea of the connection and brotherhood of this group. They're all watching this particular music video and getting pretty excited about it because, you know, attractive women in skimpy outfits. And you just feel this energy. And this film very subtly lays down character work because you learn about these men through what they go through and how they handle what they're doing. And you see such a wide range of different personalities and how they may clash, how they may support each other, how they may falter under such great pressure and tension and suspense of this story in this film. And it's just an overwhelming experience. The special effect, the practical effects are key. They're really believable throughout the film. You have this group. The choreography and the stunt work is just next level. How they, like, Mendoza obviously has his experiences, able to bring that authenticity in terms of how they engage with the fighting environment around them and all of those elements. This also, like, when a bomb goes off, it feels like you're, like, getting jumped out of your seat. That's how impactful just the whole entire craftsmanship of this film has been put together. Then you have the basically body horror of what happens to a couple of these soldiers, where it is grotesque. The practical effects are unbelievably authentic, and it is brutal. It is scary. You just have some of these actors just constantly screaming in pain. Others who are obviously concussed or shaken and just not being able to process. And this film is well structured and put together, well paced. It moves. We see the natural progression of this siege going on. And this film has a very specific way of tackling just the idea of Al-Qaeda and how we are in this country disrupting the lives of these people. And you see it right there. You see the frustration, you see the energy. And Mendoza and Garland are not afraid to lean into some of those unsavory elements of these kinds of situations, and to the extent of what some of these soldiers are going to have to do or will do to do right by their own brotherhood. But what does it mean for the people who live here as they're stuck in this 2 apartment home throughout this whole entire film for the most part? It's just incredible. The just technical prowess. And then you have the acting. And DeFaro Woon-a-Tai, who is from Reservation Dogs, he plays Ray. And we are there with him so much. And he brings an authenticity and plenty of empathy and sympathy. And we feel for him. And we see him struggling as he's constantly trying to protect his brother in arms. You have Joseph Quinn and Cosmo Jarvis, who you get to experience a lot of their overwhelming emotion in this situation, and at times it is just shocking and uncomfortable and unnerving. Will Poulter, his character is really struggling with some kind of head injury or something like that, and you see how he's losing his constitution and getting to the point where like he might have to pass on the reins. You have the likes of Charles Melton, who has a strong leadership role in this film. Somebody like Michael Gandolfini, who's a little bit more of, he messes up and he's a little bit nervous, and we can feel that he's kind of us, I'm sure, in this situation, and he's just desperately trying to do what's right. This film is harrowing. It is brutal, borderline like body horror kinds of elements because how graphic and impactful this is. It's a lean, mean script. It gets to the point, but this is a shocking, unnerving, and impactful cinematic experience that is certainly one of the best around. But those are my thoughts on Warfare. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.